I don't think men do what they do for women. I think men do what they do for men. I think men get girls for men.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a status thing.
When it's like,
what do you mean men get girls?
Let me explain. I can explain. Let me just explain. I'll just speak like, if I'm linking 5 girls, it don't mean nothing if I don't tell the man them.
Do you know what it is? I consult men, right? I do consultancy for men, and what I've come to realize that a lot of men measure their success on family and whether or not they can take care of their family. And a lot of the men that I consult are going through either divorces, family court situations, breakups, blah, blah, blah. And for me, it's interesting to see a man become less of a man when he feels like he's not successful with his family. That's what's interesting to me, because, you know, I was consulting a guy last month and he had been married for like 12 years with his woman, right? And they're getting divorced, and she's now taking like this and she's taking that. And I was just like, it was just interesting to hear his story and to hear him like, he feels like he's failed. Do you know what I mean? He feels like he's failed and he's no longer a success, because in his eyes, and a lot of the time when we're young, we get told, oh yeah, have a family, white picket fence, woman, children, blah, blah, blah. And so in his eyes, that was his version of success, and now it's kind of crumbled.
On the flip side, there's a lot of men that don't care about all that though.
Yeah,
there's a lot of men that burn their entire family. No, I'm saying there's a lot of men of all ages that burn their entire family down for career.
Yeah, but then you're saying, because it's interesting, like I read a book once about people on their deathbeds and like the advice that they'd give to other people, and loads of people talk about like the thing that they wish they'd changed, like family and
spending more time.
Not necessarily family like wife and kids, but like that investment in their people around, right? And I think it's interesting that you raised that point, right? Because earlier you were talking about living vicariously through your children and through family, and that idea, and I think like, I love what you were saying about like the idea of where we get those ideas from, because I think that's super interesting. Like when we think about where those ideas of success come from, like you were saying that you saw your family and you realized that's not what I want, whereas you're saying that for a lot of the guys that you consult, they were taught what success was and then they aspired to that kind of success and either made it or didn't make it. Like for you guys, where did that come from? Where was it birthed, like your idea of success?
I think a lot of it's birthed through your family as well. Like a lot of it's birthed through influence, and a lot of it's birthed through the things that you see as well. Like what is told to you, what is success. Now I think success for a man is have a load of women and have a lot of money.
What was you just about to say?
I was about to say bitches, but like have a load of women and have a load of money. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, the Andrew Tate type.
Is that not still a bar of success for the men here?
I think when I was younger, that's all I cared about. But as you grow up, I can.
What, bitches and money?
Literally, yeah.
Do you know how it changes through the ages?
When I was very young, I did. I think now the older you're growing up, though, you really realise like connection with real people, conversations with real people. I don't go out much anymore.
I see men. Because you're young still, right?
Yeah,
like
I'm still in that. Like,
is that it for you, or is it something different?
So you know, I was talking about how I was talking obviously from like a more self point of view, right? Okay, so it can change growing up as you age, of course. Obviously, when you're younger, it's basically all material. And as I'm transitioning now, it's becoming more about what do I like, and then it might become family, right? As you pass a certain point, as you might have a child,
I was gonna say, I see men do this thing where they're like, yeah, it's just not about the girls. It's just not about the girls, as he's still putting on his clothes to go to the girls.
Yeah, man.
like man say, it's not about girls. I've been there, done that, but you're still doing it.
It's interesting because as a man, it's interesting because essentially biologically, like we like to attract the opposite sex. Do you know what I mean?
I saw this thing that said
biological.
Men, and not that I agree with it, but I saw this thing that said that men are. They earn their value and women are born with their value.
Yes, men earn their value.
You think that's true?
100%.
What does that mean?
Women, like, I guess the idea that women intrinsically have value, whereas men in the world are forced.
And you know how that shows up? Guys have to have either money, status, or power, generally, for women to be attracted to them? Because there are men who don't have money.
Sounds like we need to raise our
Listen, a lot of people have said those three, but from the conversations that I've had, or with women as well, is security. Does that translate into money, power, and
yeah, security definitely translates to
100%.
If
and
not,
also
if
you
someone
can't.
feels safe, because even like them hench guys or whatever, a lot of girls go to them. They may not have money or power, but they
have power.
But they have a sense of
They have that
security.
power.
What about for gay guys who are like that, like for guys that are not interested in women, or like guys that don't want, or not even necessarily gay guys, like asexual guys, guys who are celibate, guys who don't want to be in relationships, like because it sounds like a lot of what we're saying is like
Masculine
value comes from
I don't know.
validation from women.
I literally don't know.
I
I don't know what's going on over there, but
that's
I can't.
interesting, isn't it? Like, I wonder how they measure success if it's not through that lens.
Well, I genuinely feel like perhaps they have a lot less of those issues.
Maybe.
Potentially. But for me, I feel like a lot of what is going on with men and how we feel towards women is like, it's like we did that. We've created a value. For instance, I don't think men do what they do for women. I think men do what they do for men. I think men get girls for men.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a status thing.
It's a status thing.
When it's like
What do you mean men get girls?
Yeah.
Let me explain. I can explain. Let me just explain. I'll just speak like, if I'm linking 5 girls, it don't mean nothing if I don't tell the man them.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more with you, mate. I couldn't agree more. When I was back in the day,
status thing, yeah.
honestly, back in the day when I was younger and I used to play around, I've been on hundreds of dates, right? I used to walk in the office.
How many dates have you been?
Hundreds of dates,
I've
yeah.
been hundreds, mate. I've been on plenty of dates, yeah. And this is it, mate. I've like got good routine, don't you always worry. I'll teach you boys a thing or two, no, I'm kidding. But it's like, it was though, you get the validation from telling your boys, mate, last night was fucking sick, you won't believe she stayed over, all this shit. And
But isn't it both?
No. Did you ever tell? Did you ever tell them? Oh yeah, I had sex with her again.
As in, what do you mean?
I continue to see her.
You know what? It's never that.
It's both.
It's never that.
I tell you why it's both, because a man's ego gets fed when he knows he pleases a woman.
Yeah, so true.
So I'm saying it's both. So when
If you ask women, I'm sure they'd tell you that. No, that's not true.
From a man's point of view,
but from a man's point of view, he knows that for him, he's like, I can please 5 women. Right? Yes, he goes to tell his boys, yeah? But also for his own ego gets fed because he's like, in his thinking, I got this one, that one, that one, that one, that one. He's got his own ego.
But he is also a man, so he did it for men.
For instance, he done it for himself first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but he didn't please the girl for the girl.
So
he pleased the girl for himself.
For himself, yeah.
Who is also a man.
Oh, so you're saying him being the man?
Men do things for men.
Or just say they do it for themselves.
No, not just for them.